Hello, everyone. I'm Mark.
I'm Rob.
And welcome to Mark and Rob's Sports Showdown. And just a reminder, tonight, which is Monday, I guess, what is it? June 3rd?
Yeah.
June 3rd. I don't know what day it is. I know what day it is. I just don't know the day of the month. And it's every Monday, Eastern time from 7 to 8. You can call in and make comments and all that good stuff. We'll talk about the NBA Finals and we'll talk about Caitlin Clark because it's basketball season. And then later we'll talk about football when we get to the fall. Anyways, if you haven't liked or subscribed, please, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and hit that notification bell so you find out about our next videos. We try to do one every day or every other day. And we appreciate your support. And feel free to make comments if they're not insulting and intelligent. I know we're going to get some. I know there's trolls out there, but I keep saying it anyways because I'm trying to have a decent comments for the people that like to make good comments. They don't want to respond to people like that. They want to respond to intelligent people who have some objectivity to it. Anyways, last night was a disaster for the Indiana Fever and Caitlin Clark. Caitlin Clark had her worst game, even though she didn't play poorly in all ways, but she really had almost no impact on the game. And part of it is because she shot so poorly. She just couldn't hit her. She only shot threes, except for out of 2 shots. She was 1 for 7 in threes, and then she was 1 for 10. And I'll give you the rest of the stats just because we're on the topic. And she also had only 2 rebounds, but she did have 5 assists, 2 steals, and a block, which is really good for someone who's having a bad game and is tired and doesn't play any defense supposedly. And she had 3 turnovers, so she had more assists than turnovers, which is good because she's pretty much almost one-on-one on that. And she actually got injured. She got hit in the head or the ear or something, and she didn't finish the game out. And neither did Leah Boston. I don't know what the injury for that is. I forgot to look it up.
She had turned her ankle. She
turned her ankle? Is that what it is?
Yeah, she turned her ankle.
The announcers didn't seem to know at the time. At least I didn't. So that was like in the middle of the fourth quarter. And so Clark only ended up playing 29 minutes, which is fine. And Boston only played 26. Mitchell had a good game, and she still doesn't know how to pass. She had 0 assists, and she doesn't like passing to Clark especially. But she was 9 for 19 and 3 for 9 on threes, and she carried the team with 21 points. But she had no rebounds, no assists, no steals, no blocks. All she did is every time she got the ball, she dribbled and shot. If someone passed it to her, she just shot. But she had a good game. I mean, she got 21 points for the team. Smith played well again ever since she was back in the starting lineup. And after she got taken out of the starting lineup, she's responded well. I want to give her credit for having the maturity to not sulk over that. And she was 8 for 14, 8 rebounds, assists, a steal. She played well, 17 points. And then the Wallace started again, and still I don't know why. I don't think she's going to be starting when Temi comes back. And she was 2 for 7 with 6 points, but they just didn't play good defense. They were tired. I don't know what to say.
Well, my thing is why was Clark and Boston in the fourth quarter when they're down by like 20-something points?
People asked her that in the post conference interview, and they said they wanted to fight still, and it wasn't late in the fourth quarter when it happened. No. I think Clark sat out the first 3 minutes of the fourth quarter, which I've been begging Coach her to do to play her whole third quarter and then start out in the first 2 or 3 minutes of the fourth quarter, and same thing in the first half, the first 3 minutes of the second quarter, and play her all first half. That way she gets a longer break because she gets the 4 minutes between the quarters.
Right.
And she came out relatively soon. I think she got hit in the head on a tussle. I don't think it was intentional or anything like that.
Yeah, hit in the air, but I'm just saying.
Like 4 or 5 minutes into the quarter. So,
but I'm just saying, unlike the NBA, I mean, yeah, you would put it back in because you have a chance, even though you're down by 20. But with the WNBA, coming back from 20 points is kind of hard. I mean,
well, they still have the 3-point shot. It's just I think people paid to see Clark play. Also, you can make that argument. And so they want to see the stars. And Wheeler played pretty decent. People pick on her on the internet and say she sucks or whatever, and she doesn't suck. She's not as good a point guard as Clark, and she's small, but she's quick. I mean, she was 3 for 8, but she hustles out there. At least I'll give her that. She can pass. She can pass better than anybody up with Clark on the team, and she had 4 rebounds and 2 assists and 7 points. But so I don't want to say she, I don't think she's a bad. I think she's a good backup point guard. I just don't think she's a starting point guard. That's all. I think she deserves playing time. But and it gives Clark a chance to be off the ball for when she's in. But I think when she's not there, Clark has to have the ball in her hands and just let her run the show, because I think she plays best that way. But they got to look for, Wheeler's got to look for Clark too, if on the break or something like that. So Clark did another thing. She got trapped in a triple team again, and she should have seen it coming. She was at the same. It was always on the right sideline. It seems. It's
told you, yeah.
Right sideline from the camera angle, right? And she should have seen it early and backed up. And it wasn't just because her players didn't react quick enough. It was her fault. But she did one of that, and she did one other thing that was bad. Was she drove to the basket, and I guess she saw somebody underneath the basket that she didn't like, which was probably Jones. Yeah, probably Jacqueline Jones, who's a former MVP and pretty tough underneath. And so she couldn't decide what to do, and she kind of like did a pull-up jumper that looked a little awkward because she's worked out enough. Instead of like if she had the shot, which was either a floater or a teardrop, however you want to call it, they're slightly different, but still. And she missed. And all other shots, except for one other one, was a 3-point shot, like I said. So, and she, it's not. She's not going to have that down by the end of the year, because maybe in the next 4 days she's going to work on her mid-range game and her teardrop.
I hope so. I mean, yeah, it seems like when she gets confronted like that, she kind of goes, "Should I go at them?" Then she goes, "Oh no, she's kind of big. She might block my shot." Right. But then when you're in sports, I mean, no matter what sport it is, if you start thinking about what you're going to do, it's not gonna happen.
Right.
I mean, it's just like if you're shooting a jump shot, you're like, okay, fingertips on the ball, elbow in, eyes on it. By that time, she's going to be blocked or stolen. It's going to be this reaction. Just like, okay, if she beats the person off the dribble, she has a shot. She has a quick enough shot to get it off. She doesn't have to take it that deep. So there's something for her to work on.
Yeah, and she's still trying to figure out, and I'm not trying to be overcritical, but she's trying to figure out what to do when the ball's not in her hand. She's not sure whether to stand over the corner. She's not sure to circle around. Like, I think she needs to circle around more like Curry does.
Just cut to the basket.
Screens and stuff like that, develop picks and stuff like that.
Cut to the basket. That's what she's doing. She's standing out there. It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, she needs to move more when someone else has the ball instead of standing on the court. So, like I said, she didn't have a bad game. She just shot really poorly, and she did look tired, but she was still able to contribute in other ways in some way. But it was probably her worst game as a pro. It probably is, because 3 points is 3 points.
Well, then, Mark, that means that she's a flash in the pan and a one-trick pony. So
you know what? Here's the thing. Yeah, she did. That is 11th game, and it's too bad that's her worst game. But they got a 5-day rest coming up. And they had the worst schedule in the league by far. They're the only one that had two back-to-backs. They also played the toughest teams more than anybody else. And they also played the most games more than anybody else in the 11 games in 20-day period. So they had by far the worst schedule overall. So, give them a break, and she's double and triple team. Everybody knows that. We're not going to keep going over that. But they do have a 5-day rest. Like I said, they play Friday night against the worst team in the league. It's in Washington, but I'm still expecting a win, even though it's an away game, because Washington hasn't won a game yet. So they're only the second worst team in the league this year.
And they moved, for all the people who don't think that she's attracts this, they moved the venture to the Capital One Arena because it was getting sold out. So
no, according to Angel Reese fans, Angel Reese is more popular and better than Caitlin Clark.
Okay. Well,
you know that. You got to know these things, Rob.
They're gonna have more. I think they're gonna have more fans in there than they did for the Wizard games. So,
and Caitlin Clark had nothing to do with them getting charter flights. Zero. They've been working on this for 27 years, and they were just around the corner, and they're going to get it any day now before she came around.
Yeah, they're like the Flintstones.
I want you to know that.
Well, they were like the Flintstones for flying pterodactyl airlines. So,
and they don't have to thank Caitlin Clark for that, but they should be aware of it. That's why that dies with phone. That's all I'm saying. I'm being sarcastic, of course. In terms of that, there's a lot of comments. There's a lot of things on the internet and YouTube and Twitter are all pretending that you won't even. There was a video that went 14 and a half minutes right after they got the charter flights. 14 and a half minutes they went around talking about the charter flights. They even implied her by the description, but wouldn't say her name for 14 and a half minutes. that was hilarious. And they were both black commentators, so. There was a bunch of comments saying you're a bunch of racists. You can't even say her name because it's not that difficult. Her name's Caitlin Clark. I thought it was hilarious. So,
Yeah.
anyways, that's the thing. So, anyways, there's not much to say about the game other than they got off to like 11-2 run or 11-4 run, and it went up by 20, went up by 30. They did come back for a little bit. In the beginning of the third quarter, they went on a little run, which I give them credit for doing that. I don't know what the run was, but they got it back to within 20 or something. Or 12. I don't know what it was. I can't remember. It was just I wasn't paying attention to the score because it was never competitive. But at least they came back, and then they just kind of ran out of gas after 3 or 4 or 5 minutes in the third quarter, and that was it. They ran out of gas, and of course, right after they had that run, maybe it was down to 12. Liberty just went ballistic on them and outscored them like 24-7 or something.
Yeah.
So Liberty is a great team.
Yeah,
I mean, they were in the NBA Finals last year. They had the second best record in the league, and they got two former MVPs. One, actually, Brianna Stewart won it last year, and Jacqueline Jones won it like either 2020 or 21. And she's tough underneath, and of course, then they have Sabrina Ionescu, who's a great shooter. I mean,
great shooter and also great passer. She's an
excellent player, and she was second team. She was second team All Pro last year. So in Brianna Stewart obviously was first team All Pro. I don't know what Jones was last year, but she's a former MVP. So they got a stacked team. They were never going to win that game. Away game, back-to-backs against this good team. I knew what was going to happen to this game. They're going to be tired. It was going to be a blowout. I knew exactly what was going to happen, but I watched it anyways because I knew that I had to make a video of it. And I like watching Caitlin Clark play. I was hoping, despite being tired, she may go off in the first quarter or something like that, but she didn't.
No.
I think she missed her first shot and then missed every shot after. But like I said, she seemed. I don't know if it was also part mental because she's mentally drained from, how much they double and triple team her, and then what happened with the assaults in the game before, and the fact that the league didn't protect her, and the refs are giving her the short end of the stick, and all that, and the pressure. She might just be mentally drained from in 11 games in 20 days.
That's a natural reaction. Yeah, of course. It's a natural reaction.
So that can, even though the legs are more important when she's making 3-point shots, that could affect your shooting and your play.
Oh, it definitely does. It definitely does. The legs. That's what I was saying. The legs weren't really there for the whole team. The legs weren't really there.
Right. So, she usually makes 4 passes that I go, wow, she only made 2 this game. So that shows you her game was kind of off. She made 2 passes that were great. But anyways, that's what happened. And not much to say about it, except they were tired and they played a much better team than them. And Clark had her worst game of the year, but it wasn't a total disaster in all of her plays. But I have confidence in Caitlin Clark. I think she's super talented. Like she said, she's the best passer I've ever seen in women's basketball. She just hasn't established that in the WNBA yet. But she will as she gels in with her team, and she stops forcing the ball as much as she is. And their teammates start catching the ball too and they'll be ready for it. And then when she gives them a pass underneath the basket, please put it in the layups. Basket. If you're not fouled, please put it in the basket.
Make the layups.
Please. Anyways, I don't want to pick on the WNBA players anymore. We did last time, but they need to improve on that if they want people to watch the WNBA though. They need to improve on their low post games and stuff like that, and their mid range games. Like Clayton Clark needs to do that, and more variety around the basket in terms of their moves. So we all talked about that because they can make the 3-point shot. They can do that. That's my theory. I'm sticking to it, Rob. Anyways, listen, we got a live show tonight, which is June 3rd, Monday Eastern time. It's every Monday except for major holidays, 7 to 8 Eastern time. We appreciate your support. You can call in. You can also make comments and, suggest topics and things like that. And I want to say, we really appreciate your support. We get a lot of new subscribers and a lot of comments are being made and a lot of good comments too. There's very few bad ones. So I'm happy for that. And so don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell when you do. And we'll see you in the next video.
All right. Peace out.